Little fanfare. There you go. Covered. Ready for the tissue to add on. Rather pleased with that. I was not surprised that the tail fin area was a bit awkward, but then that adds to the character of this model. And without it, it wouldn't be a ladybird, would it? So I'm going to start doing the covering. White on the lower half, blue on the upper, and we'll see how it looks when it's all done. I hope you can see here that I've started to cover the bottom, and it just struck me that it might be useful to pass this on. When you're using a Pritt stick or similar solid glue stick to apply the glue, you don't have to go crazy with it. In fact, less is best. So it's a very light coating along the edge, just enough to help you manipulate the tissue. You don't have to go crazy at all with this. That's a very light application, only around the edges, not in the middle. And then I've made a slight tear there to get the tissue around the leg. And I'm just pulling it out as I go along. Remember, I'm going to shrink this with the water, so it'll go drum tight before I actually apply the dope. You just pull as many of the wrinkles out as you can. Needs a little nick here. There we go. And that's glued on. That's all that you need. You don't need to go crazy with this. I will, when it comes to adding the tissue on the side, I'll seal along the edges with some dope. That I find that helps. I'll crack on and we'll come back when I'm a little bit further on. Well, there we have it. One side all but done. It hasn't been totally pre-shrunk yet, but I think that's going to be a nice design. I have discovered that this particular tissue doesn't take to being handled wet. Some tissues do, this one doesn't. And of course, when you're working with tissue, it can't handle compound curves, so it has to be done in sections. I think these look okay, slightly darker where the joins are, but they just look like panel lines. I haven't shrunk this yet. I'll do that later. I'm going to call this video done. The next time you see the model, I'll have both sides done and the cowl fitted. If I put one of the wings on, there you go. I think it looks rather fetching if I put it down there. I think that looks rather fetching, and it'll look really nice when it's all together. So I hope you've enjoyed the videos. If you want to see the rest of this completed, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. And if you give me a thumbs up, that sort of spreads the word to other people. Bye for now. Get some flying if you can. If you can't, please enjoy getting a bit creative and let's do some model making. Bye for now. As I hope you can see, the model's now been covered. Now comes the scary bit, and that's actually spraying it with water because it looks an absolute mess when you do so. So I'll give it a quick spray and then show you how rough it looks. So if you're doing this, you don't get scared off yourself, and then we'll see what it's like when it's dried out. As I hope you can see, it doesn't look pretty. I'm trying to catch the light. When it's wet, I'm going to put the hairdryer on it and we'll see what it's like after it's been dried out. Well, there you have it. It's now been shrunk with the water and dried off with a hairdryer. Now it's just a case of giving it some thin down dope to seal everything, although it doesn't really need sealing in the sense that you have an airtight covering underneath. I'll do that and we'll have a final shot of the fuselage put together. Well, there you have it. Quite a bit of work involved there, which I thought there would be. The Ladybird fuselage has now been completed in terms of covering. The dope's been applied. I've discovered that the dope continues to shrink for quite a while after it's been applied, so it will become even more taut than that. But I can live with it even if it stayed as it was. As you can see, it's the tail surface and the control surfaces to go, but I think she looks rather handsome. How she'll fly is a different matter, and that will have to wait for Roy coming back from his little holiday break. But when he does, we'll get it going and you'll be there to see the maiden. If you haven't already done so, could you please subscribe, and then you can keep up to date with all the other building projects, and of course you'll get to see the maiden that way. Bye for now. Have a good weekend, everybody.